we have comedians, we have actors, we have athletes. Not all of them could be leaders, but a few of them do stand out. And what makes them stand out is that they're willing to put everything they have on the line for what they believe in. All right, so first video we're going to talk about is D.L. Hughley. Now, if you don't know who D.L. Hughley is, he is a old school, one of the original kings of comedy comedian, black comedian, extremely funny. Like if you heard any of his stand-ups, any of the shows that he was on, you will understand that this guy is a comedian. So his name recognition is out there. Now, of course, when you're a comedian or just really black in general and you have a spotlight on you, you have a platform, you are going to either not talk about politics or anything of that nature, or you're going to be very vocal. And fortunately enough, D.L. Hughley does not hold his punches when he feels a certain way about a certain subject or whatever the case is. He speaks his mind, and he's actually really intelligent. I hate to say it like that, like he's actually, but a lot of comedians, you just kind of take it as is. But DL is actually someone you can actually pull out a notebook and actually take some notes. You know what I'm saying? So he was on a show with Charlamagne the God. I believe it's called like A Hell of a Week or something like that. And they were just talking about the midterms and just Trump and Joe Biden and the performance of Joe Biden. And it wasn't really too much. It was just a regular conversation. But a young man by Boyce Watkins, I'm assuming he's some sort of really popular author of some newspaper, and he had an issue with that, and he actually went and attacked verbally, not physically, Mr. D.L. Hughley, and he brings up actually good points. So let's go ahead and listen to what he has to say.
Hey, what's up, guys? So I saw this video with D.L. Hughley and Charlamagne the God discussing black politics. They were discussing the stuff that's going on, Democrat, Republican, all that stuff. And I think it's everybody's right to say what they want to say, and I think that that's fine. But one of the things I want to make it...
Okay, now, I've learned when watching these videos, anytime someone says, you have the right to talk about whatever you want, you can do that. You have every right. But anything that follows that but, you already know is going to be ignorant. You already know is going to almost pretty close contradict what he just said. You can say what you want. It's a free country. Do what you want. But
make clear to you, comedians are not political scientists. Tony Lindsay made this point, and I agree with him 100%. Comedians are not political scientists. Charlamagne is a nice guy, very smart guy. I met him many, many times, known him for many, many years. He's a shock jockey. He's not a political analyst or a person that should be doing high level breakdowns of what we need to do as black people. That would be a silly, to have DL as a political analyst is as silly as me trying to go on stage and doing what he does as a comedian. I can't do what he does.
Damn.
He can't do what we do. And one of the things I need you to understand is that comedians, their job is to tell jokes. So comedians, they're a joke. Literally, they are a joke.
Damn.
Their goal is, their job is, they make millions of dollars by...
Whoa. I get it. Comedians are to perform and make people laugh with jokes. But to say they are a joke, that's where you get a little insulting. So now I can see where Dio kind of was like, hey, you done crossed the line. And I don't know if you had to go this far in, but let's go ahead and take a listen.
I'm making white people laugh, and some black people laugh too. And so if you are allowing people who are a joke to become leaders of your community, then you should not be surprised when your whole damn community becomes a joke. Black people collectively have become a joke. Black people as a collective in politics and outside of politics, economics, you've been seen as a joke. Your families are seen as a joke.
Damn.
And the thing is, and people aren't laughing with you, they're laughing at you. So again, I'm not saying that people don't have a right to comment on what they want to comment on, but if you pay attention, there's no other community where when an important issue arises, like the Jewish community, when an important issue arises, they don't go to the comedians. They go to the people who understand that important issue. That's something we have to do as black people, and we don't do that enough. That's it, guys. I'm out of here. Have a good day. Love you.
Damn.
All right, that was Monica.
All right. Before we get ahead of ourselves here. Wow. Okay, so let me go ahead and bring my notes here. Okay. Now, first off, I do understand to a certain extent. I'm gonna start off with this. Okay. I'm just gonna break this down just real quick, like a fraction, before we let Hughley come to his own defense. Black people as a culture, okay, black people as a whole are not the same as any other culture. Now, of course, it's the history of slavery and everything that happened that plays a part. So you can't just say, black people do this, Jewish people do this, and white people do this, and Mexican. Black people have their own history that shapes and conforms to what we are today. Now, of course, it's not 100%, slavery, and now, people change, things grow, culture changes and grows along with it. But slavery does play a significant part of it. Jim Crow, civil rights movements, that birthed a whole bunch of types of leaders for that type of generation. You know what I'm saying? We have Frederick Douglass. He was a activist. He was a leader for his time. Then we had Martin Luther King, E.B. Du Bois. You know what I'm saying? We have so many different leaders to where now it's not just your traditional types of leaders. I understand that. We have comedians, we have actors, we have athletes. Not all of them could be leaders, but a few of them do stand out. And what makes them stand out is that they're willing to put everything they have on the line for what they believe in. Not every celebrity does that. You know what I'm saying? They might say something political. They might, choose to vote Republican or Democrat. That does not make them a political leader. They're just someone else with an opinion. To me, a leader is someone who's willing to put everything they own, they have, that they represent on the line, such as Muhammad Ali, Jackie Robinson, Billie Holiday, James Brown, Prince, Richard Pryor, Dick Gregory. These are just a few of some of the people who are athletes, comedians, musicians, and comedians. These people grew up in a black environment. They grew up in a hood. They know black community because they grew up out of it. So when they play their instruments, when they play their music, they're playing where they came from, and people can relate to that. So when they have something to say, of course, black people can listen and relate because they came from where we came from. So let's go ahead and hear Mr. D.L. Hughley talk about this.
Don't take it personal. So last week I had an occasion to sit down with Charlamagne the God on this Comedy Central show. Hell of a week. And the first question Charlamagne asked me about the midterms that had just happened last week. And apparently Dr. Boyce Watkins took exception to two men who he didn't feel were qualified to have conversations about election pontificating on. He thought that Charlamagne is just a shock jock and that basically I was just a comedian. So what do we know about politics? Basically, he said what white people do is sit down and do whatever it is you do. It's interesting because most people who we listen to a lot, say for instance, the people that are the highest paid sports analysts were not professionals in the sport. Nobody makes more money than Stephen A. Smith, and as far as I know, He never ran a football or coached a team or hit a baseball, but he is listened to. People that give you advice, like movie critics. I don't know how many of them have ever won an Oscar, but yet they're listened to. I don't know how many food critics have ever had a Michelin star, but yet they listen to. He further intimated that nobody listens to comedy to shape their political opinions or words, basically words like that, except black people. How untrue is that? When a politician wants to be heard, doesn't he go to Bill Maher? Isn't he a comedian? When a politician wants to be heard, doesn't he go to Trevor Noah's show, who's also a comedian? Or we can go to Stephen Colbert's show, who's a comedian? Comedy has often shaped the way we see the political arena. As a matter of fact, there was a study that was conducted by Forbes, and it was a 10-year study, and it measured comedy. Right now, satire, which is comedy, and social media are where people get most of their political opinions by. It is, Boyce Watkins take pride in telling us how intelligent he is. Matter of fact, his show is called The Intelligent People Show. But if you relegate it to just black people being guided by what they see in terms of comedy, it isn't just black people. When Bill Clinton played the horn on Arsenio Hall show, which is a comedian, it changed the trajectory of that race. Comedy did that. Comedy also, when Bill Cosby had the show, The Cosby Show, followed by A Different World, the ascent of black people to college, the most educated segment of our society is black women. You can trace that back to A Different World, which is a comedy. As a matter of fact, you can trace black people. He said that black people were basically a joke because we listen to comedians. As a matter of fact, Bill Cosby is responsible for having the black family unit be taken seriously. You can extrapolate that out, and you can show a direct connection between The Cosby Show and Barack Obama being president. Comedy has always played a hand in our life, and it doesn't make you a joke because you listen to people who have a perspective. As a matter of fact, Moliere said comedy is used to correct men by amusing them. Shakespeare said that many a truth is spoken in jest. That is the power. It's wonderful that you're a political analyst. It's just that nobody listens to political analysts to make their decisions. It's wonderful that you're intelligent. It is not up to me to decide who listens to you. You would be better suited trying to figure out why they listen to the people that you don't respect and don't listen to you.
Oh, hey. How dare you, D.L. Hughley, disrespect that? Okay. All right, so let me go ahead and break this down. The reason why a lot of people don't listen to mainstream media, such as CNN, Fox News, which, I mean, Fox News is still listened to, but a lot of regular folks, okay, people with lives and people who actually can think with their own mind, they know how crooked the mainstream media could be. Fox News will only show people rioting. No matter what the situation is, Fox News will only show people rioting. CNN, no matter what the situation is, will only show the people who are protesting. They don't want to show the riots. They don't want to show the ugly side of it. They just want to show the good stuff. They're biased. And their biases usually come along with paychecks. Big old paychecks. So when you see a political analyst, when you see someone on, MSNBC, these big multi-million-dollar media companies, it's bias. You can see the bias all through everything. And they're supposed to be neutral, quote unquote, supposed to be neutral. But we know time and time again, the media will turn things, twist things, shape things, twist it around to fit their narrative. We see it all the time on the left and the right. So people get tired of hearing that. People get tired of being lied to or manipulated, and they know it. So what do? Turning people on YouTube. Phil DeFranco. You know what I'm saying? I listen to him every single day, Monday through Friday, to kind of get a glimpse on what's going on in the world. I listen to like Stephen Colbert or Trevor Noah because I would assume, now, of course, I don't know their pockets like that, but I would just assume that they're independent from the left and the right. They might be biased. That's a little different. You can still have your biases, but it doesn't come along with a paycheck. Trevor Noah might be leaning more Democrat, but if he wants to call out something from the Democrats, he can do it and not have to worry about, like, am I still going to get my paycheck? You know what I'm saying? Is this going to interrupt my money? He doesn't have to worry about that. So that's why people like me turn to people like that. And that's what DL is saying. Figure out why people are not listening to these political scientists, which I've never heard that phrase before, but political analysts. And we turn to people on YouTube. We turn to comedians. We turn to the athletes. We turn to the musicians. Why is that? Why is that? I don't know. I think I figured it out, though.
It is amazing how people that are supposed to be experts find themselves on the other end of things. It isn't that I feel like I'm a leader. I never have. There's no doubt that Boyce Watkins is immensely more intelligent than me. I can't say why people listen to me, but I do know this. In social media, on Instagram, there are not very many accounts who are more engaged than mine. I can't tell you why that is. People have more numbers, but people come and engage on my account. They set the metric for Instagram according to my account. I can't tell you why that is, but I can tell you this. You made the statement that you couldn't do what I do, but so it's foolish for me to try. Like, I guess you're saying that you're a political expert, and I can't. And you intimate that you can do what I do, and I can't do what you do. I can very much do what you do. I can take my informed decision, an opinion, and share it with the world. I don't expect it to change anything. I would never insult your intelligence. You have a PhD, you got to be a very bright man. The question, you're better served finding out why people aren't interested in what you said and would rather listen to a shock jock and comedians and political experts.
Damn.
I can say this. When they were trying to interested in getting black men to vote, they called me out. When the president wanted something to happen, he called me out. But I've talked to the presidents and senators and congressmen. Not because I asked to, not because I hold myself as a leader, not because I have a PhD, I have a GED. But something about what I do and say has people interested in what I said. I'm not an author. I got 5 books on the LA Times. I'm not a documentarian. I've won Peabody Awards.
Damn.
So your quest shouldn't be, why are they listening to these people? It's why aren't they listening to you?
Damn.
And since you malign the fact that I have a GED, or that I'm not as bright as you, or that I'm just telling jokes, or that I am a joke, why did you, a couple of years ago, ask Jasmine on several occasions to get you to share your quotes and your tweets and your sayings on my page?
Damn.
Why did you want to have access to the very thing you think I shouldn't have?
Damn.
Why is it that a man like you, who is so bright and the home of intelligent conversation, turned to a GED? Why did the PhD need a GED?
Damn.
It is because whether you like it or not, people listen to certain people and don't listen to others. You've convinced the world and yourself that you're the smartest guy in the room. Now find out why the room is so often empty. That's a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report.
Oh, hey. That's bars, baby. That is game over. Finito. That is over. It's done. It is done. I think D.L. Hughley did a really good job on explaining without being disrespectful. He could have really cranked that disrespectful level from like a 3. I think he was at a 3 to easily a 7.5. The reason why we need more, and of course, like I said, it can get a lot deeper. I don't think all celebrities should be looked at as someone who can speak on political matters. You know, if they're just talking out the side of their neck and they're just saying stuff just to say, like Cardi B, to me, in my opinion, Cardi B needs to do a little bit more, hands-on, trying to figure out what's really going on. But she can't speak her opinion. But, when she starts, doing interviews with Bernie Sanders, and it's like, okay, what the hell is going on? Like, I know, for political purposes, they're trying to get big names out there. And that's what the Democrats are really good at, is using high profile black people to kind of get their agenda out there or to get their candidates out there. They're really good at that. But of course, you're not going to have someone like a DL who knows some things and will push back, like a Charlamagne the God, who will push back on some things if it sounds a little funky. You know what I'm saying? So of course they turn to the, the Cardi B's or the Meg the Stallions or whatever. I'm sure we'll get into that in the future, but I think DL Hughley did a really good job on expressing himself on why people listen to comedians and disc jockeys and actors and sports figures other than political analysts. I think that's pretty simple.